So it's been a while. I think it's time for another pickup video. So today, you just have me. Nina has been really busy with her other job, but we have some great stuff here. Like I said, we were just at, we had a lot of stuff going on. We were just at a AVideoGameCon like 2 weeks ago now. It's crazy where the time goes. But aside from just the pickups there, I've gotten some other really cool stuff too. So let's start out with that. First up, huge thank you to my dude Dan from Rebel Gaming Club. I hooked him up with a bunch of stuff for his channel a few weeks ago, and he sent me these two obscurities for my Super Nintendo collection, Timon and Pumbaa, and this one, Jim Power The Lost Dimension in 3D. These are both pretty uncommon games, especially this Jim Power game. You really don't see this one at all. So Dan just had some duplicates he sent over, and it's like, hey, you know, just pick out which ones you need, and I'll send them over. So he was gracious enough to send me these. So Dan, thank you so much for filling in two kind of obscure gaps in my collection. These next ones I posted about a week ago, I guess. Found them at my local thrift store, and it's been dry there for months. But every so often something gets traded in, and there's good stuff there. So what I found was, this is awesome, fucking Skull Monkeys on PS1. I didn't know that this game was so sought after. I remember playing it. It was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, the cover is not like that holographic one. As soon as I picked it up, that's like all you guys started asking me. It's like, oh, is that holographic one? It's not. But super happy to have this one. Another weird one on the PlayStation 1 that was there. I'd never heard of this one. Heart of Darkness. This game looks pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's just the case and only disc 2, so disc 1 and the manual are missing. So, if anybody has an extra disc 1 and manual, let me know. Also, little Skyward Sword action on the Wii, complete in great shape. Both discs in there are like perfect, like friggin' flawless. The game and the Symphony orchestral disc in there, both are in great shape, so awesome to add this to the collection. And as far as modern games, the open world ones that have been coming out are so much fun. You know, Fallout, clearly I'm a huge fan of, but the Mad Max game that came out, Deus Ex, so many other fun games like Skyrim. This is one that I've wanted to try because I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Shadow of Mordor. This was there for only $5, so can't go wrong with a PlayStation 4 game that's practically new, so super excited to check this one out. Now moving on to pickups from AVideoGameCon. You know me, always gotta pick up artwork, so let's start with that. And this is what I picked up. I got this in an art trade from this dude, so Nina and I were looking at his work all weekend, and we're like, we gotta get a piece, we have to get something, and this is the one that we decided on, because Chrono Trigger is one of our favorite games of all time, and the iconic campfire scene, you can never go wrong with. So this is a 3D laser cut put in a shadow box, and his work is just so clean and so nice. There was also the courtroom scene. I was debating that one, but Nina really wanted the campfire scene, and you can't go wrong with that. This is such an iconic scene of where you see all 7 characters together and then Luca going back in time to save her mom. It's just a very significant part in the game, so really excited to have this. And if you want to check out his work, here's his card. He goes by Video Game Shadowbox. You can check him out at videogameshadowbox.com. He does great work. He does all sorts of stuff from other games. He had some obscure ones behind the table too. I was really surprised. He had one from ActRaiser of the Master fighting the first boss, the Centaur in the forest. And just awesome to see that. So the next time I see you, man, that ActRaiser piece is probably coming home with me. Moving on to 2 other awesome things from our boy Josh at Gotham City Games. You hooked us up, man. You hooked us up with these 2 really cool things. You didn't have to do that. So we met at Long Island Retro Gaming. His table was right next to ours, so we were just bullshitting the whole weekend just about games and collecting. Super solid dude. All the guys at Gotham City Games are great too. Ralph, Tom, love hanging out with you guys. But Josh hooked us up with a Turbo Force magazine. Now these are just Xerox copies from an old magazine. I guess he has the original one. So it's just so cool to see all of this stuff, because if you guys know, Nina is a massive TurboGrafx collector. This is just a section of our collection of all the stuff that she has. So just to have something like this, just, you know, literature that was put out in the late 80s and early 90s for TurboGrafx, really cool to have. And one game franchise that I kind of feel guilty that I haven't kept up with is the Metal Gear franchise. I wasn't really a fan of the ones on Nintendo, but when it came to the PlayStation, holy shit, Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2, man. I love those games so much. So Josh hooked me up with this minty mint Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty poster as I cut my face off with it. This thing's huge. I love the brushwork of the art here, of the watercolor designs of all the characters. I want to get this thing framed. So, Josh, thanks so much, man. I know in passing I mentioned how much I love Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2. It's like a life-changing game for me, so thanks so much for remembering that, man, and just hooking me up with this. It's really awesome to have, so thanks again. Moving on, more games. You had to pick up some games, of course, at a video game con. So my buddy Carlson, he goes by Mad Gear. I'm sure you've seen him at like every convention. He's the dude who is always selling Japanese games. He always has like an immaculate setup. He's the best dude. His prices are always really on point too. So had to pick this up for the PC Engine. It's not complete, it still needs the manual. I am a huge Snatcher fan. And on the PC Engine, this goes for a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what the Sega CD version goes for here in the States. So yes, this is only in Japanese. Nina and I do not have a PC Engine yet. When we move into import collecting, which we've wanted to for years now, the PC Engine is something that we want to get. So I just wanted to pick this up just for the case, just for the artwork. As soon as I showed Nina, I was like, hey, should I pick this up? She just gave me that serious nod like, yes, what the hell are you talking about? So Carlson gave me a hell of a deal on this. I think it was only like 10, 15 bucks or something like that. So Carlson, thank you so much. It's going to go right up there with the rest of the TurboGrafx and the beginning of our PC Engine collection too. So thanks again, man. Can't wait to see you at MagFest. Next one is just a box and manual from my buddy Frank at Forgotten Freshness Games. He had this complete and he was nice enough to separate it for me. So you can't even see down here. I have all my box Super Nintendo collection. So we'll be doing a game room tour soon, so you'll be seeing all of that. And eventually, as you all know, I do want a full Super Nintendo library. I don't want it all complete in box though, because that would just be insane. I mean, maybe someday I'll have something like that, but there are games that I want complete in the box. And one of them is Super Double Dragon. You don't see the box and manual too often, so this one even has the white holder for the game in there, the original one. And it's just cool to see that it's in really good shape. The manual is still in there. Even though I actually, now that I think of it, I have two manuals for Super Double Dragon. I had the other one down there in just my my pile. So it's nice to finally be able to complete this game. I love the artwork on there of just the early 90s kung fu, like post-apocalyptic brawler kind of style on there. It's really cool. So thank you so much, Frank, for this. And this last one, I love big box PC games. I got a whole mess of them right down there in our collector case, and this one is one that I love. Now, I was never good at real-time strategy games, except for StarCraft. I was like, okay at. This one I was not good at, but I just enjoyed it so much. That's the original Command & Conquer. I love this game so much. It was so much fun, just the digitized graphics and everything like that, and how big the map was, and how everything was just kind of set in like a very near, pretty realistic future of being the GDI, Global Defense Initiative, fighting against the terrorists of NOD. And it's cool that you can play as both sides, as GDI in Europe and NOD in Africa. So, like I said, I was never good at this game. I always had to use, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold too, guys. I always had to use cheat codes to really get anywhere in this game, but I always had a ton of fun playing it. And I love old big box PC games that came with like the manual and just seeing all the other packing materials like this and this white sleeve here of everything else. All these other readmes and everything that they packed in the 90s. It was so great to see, just a manual and just having things in the old cases of CD, disc-based games. Just awesome to have all that kind of stuff. So, looking forward to playing through Command & Conquer 1 again. I'll see how far I can get without cheating, and it probably won't be too far. So that's everything that we picked up. I promise the next pickup video, I will make sure that Nina is here too. She's not getting away with not filming with me again. She will be here to help out. So the next convention that we're doing is in a few weeks, October 13th. I know it's Friday the 13th. We'll be heading up to Hartford, Connecticut for Retro World Expo for that weekend. So we'll be there with a huge spread, a lot of new artwork. So if you're there, come say hi, come hang out. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon, and keep it pixelated.